In the coming weeks, the USS George H.W. Bush will be back in the Middle East, helping in the fight against ISIS. The aircraft carrier was delayed for 6 months for technical reasons, but now the ship's crew says it's ready to go. Pentagon producer Lucas Tomlinson recently spent time on deck and files this report.
Only about half of the Navy's F-18 Hornets, expected to be flying right now, can actually get off the ground. Young aviators are losing valuable training hours, a problem some Navy pilots say can never be made up. 5 years ago, Navy pilots averaged over 1,000 flight hours after their first tour, and 500 carrier landings known as traps. Today, that number has been reduced to just 750 flight hours and only 150 carrier landings. On a recent visit to USS George H.W. Bush, preparing to deploy to the Mideast in the coming weeks, the head of the ship's air wing says his pilots are just as ready as he was.
I think their hours are fairly indicative of the hours that I got as a young guy. And what I would say is that our training systems, to include our aircraft, as well as our training evolutions themselves, are far superior to what I received when I was a young guy.
Some critics question whether the U.S. has the ability to fight two conflicts at once, given the strain on today's force.
If all we can handle is one major theater war, that encourages adventurism on the part of someone else. We have to be able to fight and win in a minimum of 2 major theater wars simultaneously or near simultaneously. And we're not there in terms of actual capability.
Fox News has documented some of the challenges facing the U.S. military when it comes to readiness and getting their jets airworthy and ready for war. A different story here aboard USS George H.W. Bush. The pilots and commanders I've spoken with today say they have all the money, the funding, and the parts they need to successfully conduct their mission.
During the visit to Bush, F-18s and other aircraft landed every 60 seconds. The crew hopes to get that time down to 40 seconds before deployment.
We have some of the best trained, highly smart kids that we've ever seen come in the Navy right now. The thing is, they come out here and you look on the flight deck, and these 18 to 22-year-old kids are demonstrating responsibility and demonstrating a tactical proficiency at the jobs that they do.
To meet today's threats, the Navy says it must grow its fleet by 30%, and the Air Force must add 30,000 more airmen. And the Army and Marine Corps also want to add thousands to its ranks, something President-elect Trump has vowed to make happen. Brett?
Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon. Lucas, thank you.